The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, Ron here at AbleSys. Be glad to help. Take a look at the charts. We'll see what they look like as far as where you want to be buying and selling when you see your charts. I'm going to jump right in here and take a look at a daily, weekly stock chart. Certainly glad to help. I mean, we're all in it together, so we definitely want to get the most out of it. And this is an Amazon chart, and I showed this on Tuesday. And Tuesday, we had a sell signal coming in here. So if you like to buy puts, you're an option trader, clearly a triple confirmation sell signal on Amazon. This is a daily, weekly chart. More for longer term trading, swing or longer term. Obviously not for day trading, and that's a good thing if you can't be in front of your computer or have any interest in day trading. This is great for the longer term. You got a red bar, which is a daily buy signal. You've got the red arrow, which is the weekly, sell signal. Red is sell, red is sell. So obviously a red bar, red arrow, and we've had these weekly sell signal for 2 months. This is 8 weeks. We've been on a sell signal on Amazon. Even though it's been down and then up and then now back down again, the weekly says, no, we're in a long-term downtrend. And now once we had the daily agree right here, well, that's when you want to be short. Or buy puts or would not be in it. So that's the software's telling us it's going down. And so far it's down 25 points. So, put option traders, when I call that out on Tuesday, so far so good, but certainly can pop back up. There's resistance here at 3,400, 3,407, meaning there'll be some, nice wall of resistance there, meaning usually that means some selling will come in at that point. Tends to hit the red dot, bounce off it and go lower. So pretty good information there. If you want to look at if you want to change the symbol on your chart, all you do is you just simply type in the symbol. It's as simple as that. QQQ, I just started typing QQQ, and I click enter on the keyboard. And that's obviously been in a sell signal now for the past week, and it's just getting hammered. I mean, tech stocks are just really getting beat up pretty bad here the last week, along with the whole market. So pretty interesting stuff, and definitely very helpful with the software. Intraday today was really choppy, very erratic price action. It just wasn't a lot of consistent moves in one direction. It would sharply go up, a few minutes later, sharply go down, and then up, and it was just a ping pong all day long, up and down. It was a tough day for intraday trading till finally that last trade of the day. Boy, did that save us. That was like a 75 point winner. I mean, that was a really good one that bailed us out on the day. I like to look at 4 time frames, but more importantly, the NQ and the ES, because these two are very often together. And when they break apart, it's kind of a clue, because that's what this is. This is all about finding the clues on the chart. And I see when they break apart, that's when I'm like, okay, red flag. It doesn't happen often, but that's a good trade not to take in the NQ because it almost never works out. So that's the way we can filter out a false signal or a potential losing signal. They don't have to be exactly the same. They just can be the complete total opposite. Now, if you like a little shorter, a little slower time frame, the Russell has been fantastic. Now, choppy day today, but I'm talking, I'm not talking about just one day, although there were some great moves in the Russell today. Russell has just been absolutely on fire as far as profitability using AbleTrend. And it's been about 2 months now. We've had just a couple of losing days in 2 months. That's how good Russell's been. You can see here, beautiful downtrend. Small loser here, small loser there. Really, really big winner here. Just nothing but red. There's no blue anywhere. Just a beautiful downtrend, where the NASDAQ has been super choppy. About a break-even trade right in here, no trade here, no trade zone there, another nice little uptrend there, losing trade here and here. Here and here, get two losers in a row, and then a big winner, and I mean a huge winning trade going into the close. So it's a very profitable day on RTY, and it's been this only a handful of losing days. There'll always be some because it's certainly risk in trading. We certainly have some losing days that I can assure you. It's actually been even better than the NQ. NQ's been good. I mean, but RTY has actually been better. NQ today was just a choppy, ugly mess. I mean, we were getting killed before a couple of good trends. But the nice part is, and it's nice to know that you're just going to get less losing trades than any other system or indicators with AbleTrend. Why? Because we've got 3 time frames combined into one chart. Right here is a no trade zone. So you got red and blue. Red arrows, blue arrows, red dots, and kind of blue or red right here. No trade zone right there. No trade zone right here. That kept us out of a lot of trouble because the markets were very sideways and choppy at that time. Now, what I get asked a lot about the long price bars, because there's a lot more risk, obviously, on the long bars. And you generally see that the first hour of trading, because that's when certainly the first half hour, because that's when the most volume comes into the market. There's a volume explosion. So you're going to get very long bars because of all the volatility during that 1 minute price bar. I'm working on a couple things to alleviate that, which probably going to be a few months down the road because I need to do more testing and there's more technical stuff that needs to be done in the software, but definitely working on something that's been working out well so far. But the point is, if you just feel that there's just too much risk on that trade, and I totally understand that, just drop down to micros. I know I've mentioned that few months ago in the past. Just want to revisit that. Just drop down to a micro. If anytime you're not comfortable, you can always drop it. See, 5 micros is half of one standard lot. So, you can always, now I know there's a commission issue there, because you're going to have to pay more on commissions, but I mean, if you got to pay another, $10 or $15 on a trade to lower your risk, you just don't want to miss the big one. That's the point. Just don't want to miss those big trades. So that's just a suggestion, just an option. But we started out here on the I don't want to touch it the first minute of the day. But you got a losing trading. That's a perfectly valid sweet spot. That was not a winner. Then you say, well, how about this one? Well, that's the third sweet spot. It's the first, second, third. The first one doesn't win. It's very rare that the second or third one, any sweet spots after that will win. So we just leave them alone. Yeah, on occasion there might be one, but we got to play the percentages. And when you're talking like 80% against you, I'm not going to take that trade, obviously. So the first sweet spot's always your lowest risk. Now, if it wins, then it's okay to take the second one. But if that first one loses, just leave it alone. More than likely, it's not going to win. And the second one did not win. Third one did not win. It's a good thing we did that. So always got that little rule in place there. That's a losing trade right there. Perfectly valid trade. I don't like how far it is from the blue dots, but you don't know. That could have taken off, but just when you're that far away from the dots, I mean, you're talking like 40 points away. You just put your stop 2 points below the bottom of that first triple confirmation blue price bar right there. So it's just a small loss. Now, there's a really long bar right there, which could give somebody a little trouble. I certainly could understand that. And that's a point where you may want to opt for say 5 micros instead of one standard. One standard lot and 10 micros is the exact same thing, $20 per point. But you can drop down to $10 a point with 5 micros, or even 3 micros is only $6 a point because a micro is only $2 a point and a standard lot is 20. It's just an option, just a thought. Just a suggestion. Everybody has totally different risk tolerance. Some people love risk because they know more risk, of course, means bigger losses when you lose, but much bigger winners when you win. I always err. I'm more the always suggest, because that's how I am, more on the conservative side. Obvious no trade zone in here. And then we had a real good one right in here, about 11:35 Eastern. You got a red bar, red 1 minute, red 2 minute, red 3 minute, triple confirmation to the downside. And that one worked out nice. You got double green right in here, and would have been stopped out there. So that one worked out good. That was about 40 points. Now that made up for the earlier losses. Then we had another obvious triple confirmation trade right here. It's always, I mean, we always want to put the stops above the red dots. I mean, that's always the preferred way to put it. But if you feel it's just too much risk, then two things you can do. Either drop down to micros or put your stops 2 points above the top of the triple confirmation price bar, which would be right there. Okay? And this one was about a break even because it started out good. This one was disappointing. I remember that one. It's kind of disappointing because we really started off really good. And then it just, I mean, this one long bar, obviously everybody piled in, everybody bought at the same time during this one market. And the NQ jumped up 40 points in less than a minute. So just everybody piled on at the same time. And we got, we'd have been out on the blue bar right there. Nice no trade zone there, with the software telling us it's just going to be sideways. That's exactly what it was. Then we would enter right here on the triple confirmation buy signal. Again, started to go up, came back down. Although we did have two, let me see here. We're in long here. This is really close to 10 points. Yes, it actually is. Right around 10 points. And if it's 10 points profit, we can make 10 points. We put the stop 2 points below, double green. So did a little bit on that trade. No trades on there. That's a losing trade right there. Because it started out, I mean, that's a valid, I mean, you look on the chart, that's a perfect, valid AbleTrend trade, which clearly went to the second lower row of blue dots below the price. Second lower level, we've been stopped out right there. And that's a valid sweet spot. So we get back in on the sweet spot. First one, this one turned out to be a winner. We only take the first sweet spot. And if it's a winner, then we take the second. Well, you don't want to take the second or the third, obviously, if the first one wasn't. So that's a valid trade right there. Stop's always going to, again, preferred is to go below the dots because the dots block the prices from going lower. It's support. So we got a nice wall of protection there to block us from getting stopped out. Again, if it feels too much risk, either drop down to, a couple of micros or just put your stop 2 points below the bottom of the triple confirmation price bar, which would be right there. And it never got hit, which was great. Up and away we go. Let's see, do we get out over here on these? No, well, here's two double green. We were 10 points in profit. In fact, we're about 20 points at that point. We put the stop 2 points below right there, never hit it. And this is how I love trading at 2 o'clock Eastern. And wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in, 2 hours before the market closes, usually that's it. For some reason, you just see a lot of good trades right at that time. Watching this every day for all these years, you just kind of notice things and just always notice that's a good, for some reason, not every day. I wish it was every day, but it's not. But I'm just saying, more days than not. Get a good trade at that time. That was a real good one right here because we're long here at 760, and there's double green where a couple of minutes later we're out over here at 800. So that's 40-point winner right there. Real clear cut. We lost 15. Let's even call it. It's closer even to 20. So we lost 20 on the trade before. You got to be fair about that. They picked up 40 on the next one. So that's plus 20 points, and we were definitely ahead going into this trade because of a couple of big winners earlier. So that was good. We were doing well there. We were probably up about 30 points or so going in. And then it got real ugly right in here. We had 3 losers in a row. We lost 50. Let's call it, it's about 12. Let's call it 15, 15, and 15. Let's kind of keep it simple. Might not have been quite that much, but I like to exaggerate the losing trades. So what we were winning, probably not to get into technicalities and go over the chart with a fine-tooth comb and perfectly. We were probably about what we were winning, we lost in these 3 trades. We were probably up about 50, and we gave it back in these 3 trades. That wasn't fun. And it's tough because, after 3 losing trades and you get near the end of the day, the last day, although I always like the end of the day, you tend to, want to say, you know what, forget it. There it goes. That was the big winner of the day. This was 70. You could have squeezed out even a little bit more than that, but again, I always like to downplay the winning. I don't like to exaggerate the winners. I like to actually exaggerate the losers and downplay the winners, because nobody's going to get this perfect. You just want to get this, close to perfect. I mean, you got slippage and commissary, so I'm really fair about all of that. It's about real life trading here, not fake stuff. That was very conservatively, that was a 70-point winner. And that's about what we won on the day. So that was, that made the day, because really going into the trade, at best, we were break even, at best. Brian's asking, do you have a setting on your NQ chart to add another large red dot on the price bar to the first? Yes, that it automatically comes in right there. See right here, Brian? There's the red bar, they get the big red dot. There's the first blue bar, you get the big blue dot. So it automatically comes in. When you get the big 3 minutes signal, there's the big dot right there. That's the 3 minute. Say, what's this dot? That's the 2 minute. So every time a 1 minute, a 2 minute, or a 3 minute comes on the chart, you get a big dot. Obviously, if it's a sell signal, it's red. If it's blue, you get the blue dot. So, but it's only the first time it comes in. So right there, you've got a perfect triple confirmation trade, and with that last 25 minutes, man, that just made the day. That was a beauty right there. So we come out very nicely, on the day, basically because of that last trade of the day. But it was a tough day. Some days it's smooth. Some days, whether you're winning or losing, it's fairly, it's pretty doable. But it's, today was like a hard day. You know what I mean? It was it was really, really difficult work, because look at the way the market's price action was, which of course none of us can control. Sharp move down, 1 minute later, sharp move up. Sharp up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, it was just those sharp up and down moves. It really works on you mentally. It was tough. It was tough. So that you had to really be very disciplined and focused and stick with it. Because if you did, you hit a home run at the end of the day. I mean, it was just 70-point winning day. If you're just a one standard lot trader, I mean, that's a $1,400 day. So, that's a nice payday for anybody. Yeah, Michael, it was that last one you needed. I mean, if you stayed in, if you grinded it out, and boy, was it a grind today. Some days it's a lot smoother, and it's not as mentally taxing as it was today. But today was a real grind, yes, sir. But yeah, if you had the patience and the discipline to stick it out, and so often that last trade of the day is a good one. Boy, I just like the afternoon trades. The morning trades are good too, but that to me the first and last 2 hours is when you normally, and watch tomorrow. It'll be the opposite. But I'm just saying, watching the day after day, year after year, normally the first and last 2 hours is when you get your biggest trends. Where you basically make your money. And yeah, that last 25 minutes or so, boy, that one really knocked it out of the park. The AbleTrend sell signal on that one was a beauty, and that really made everyone's day. So Michael says, that's why I'm here in the class. You always tell us that last one is the best. Well, not always, but it's just one that you don't want to miss. I mean, if it's a loser, fine, but I'm just playing the percentages, because really that's all we can ever do is play the percentages. Yes. Good. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, yes, you're right. You just got to play the percentages, and most of the time, that's a good trade. So you got to play the percentages. But I totally get it. After 3 or 4 losers in a row, it just, you kind of get punch drunk, and you get beat up 3 or 4 times in a row. It's like, I just want to shut the computer off. Just let's get this over with. And of course, that's the one that turns out to be the best one of the day. It's almost like it's not fair. It's almost like, come on, market, why are you being so unfair to me? But anybody who did stick it out had the discipline, and that's the hardest part of trading is the discipline part. The mental part of it is even harder than the actual knowing when to trade, when to buy and sell, which is AbleTrend is so good at that. The hardest part is the mental part of it, doing it, because it really can beat you up pretty bad some days or some parts of the day, like it did today. Today was just a real grind. But kudos, and glad for those who did. I got some nice feedback on those who did. So great job, those who did. Yeah, Michael says he always struggles on the trades when we have to wait for the 3-minute to change because it's flashing. I know, but here's the key: if the 1 minute closes under, in other words, if it's still red here and it's kind of not flash, if it's flashing because it's a possible trend change. As long as that 1 minute closes below support, closes below the blue arrow, you got to take it. More often than not, you'll be okay. If it turns around and goes the other way, fine. Then you just exit the trade, but you don't get beat up. You exit the trade with a loss, but it's a small loss, not a big loss. But yeah, those are the ones. And again, something that I'm looking into. Again, it's just it technically literally takes months to add things to the software. But something that I'm looking into is going to help for that, as well as the high volatility, the first and last half hour when the market the volatility really ratchets up, and you sometimes get those really longer bars. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I can't promise anything. It definitely, but me, I literally, I'm always doing everything I can to make it to make it better. I mean, we're all in it together. So far, so good, but I'm just, I'm the type that I'm not going to say never satisfied, but I always feel like I can, we could do better. We can do better. Yeah, it's good, real good, but I want to do really, really, really good. So anyhow, yeah, I understand, Michael Z. Yeah, yeah. That, after you have a couple of losses in a row, kind of scared you from taking the last one, and you know what happens. That's sometimes the best one of the day. And if it's any help to you, when you have, say, like 3 losses in a row, AbleTrend can certainly have 4 in a row, but it's very rare. So as hard as that is, the more losses you have in a row, and I know this is kind of goes counterintuitive to our minds, you and me and everybody, but the more losses you have in a row, the greater the less likely you'll have even another one. So that means the more likely it's going to be a really good one. And I know, and I keep repeating that it kind of goes counterintuitive the way you think. It's like after a few losses in a row, so it's like, forget it, I quit. I totally get that. I mean, we've all done it, myself included. But that's almost like, maybe to convince yourself, you say, you know what, it's as accurate and as good as AbleTrend is for all these years. It certainly can get maybe 4, even 5 losses in a row. I mean, it's absolutely possible, but it's so unlikely that it's like, wow, I grinded it out and I took the beating, let's say 3 or 4 losses in a row. You know what? I was there for 3 or 4 losses in a row. I got punched around for 3 or 4 losses in a row. You know what? What's one more? Because more than likely the odds are really going to flip in my favor now, because it's just unlikely that the software is going to continue to lose, with such a great track record over all these years. And I know that's tough to kind of maybe mentally get in your head. I totally get that, because it is for me too. But maybe that'll help the next time that happens. I'm just trying to be helpful, because the more losses in a row, the harder it is to take the next one. But that's generally the better one, or it's just hard to lose, to continue to lose. So but everybody has to do it, what they feel is best. It's all, we're all different as far as our risk tolerance and how many times we could get punched in the face before we just, how many times we keep getting back up. So anyhow, thanks for being here, everyone. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back here Tuesday at the same time. Always glad to help. Anything I can do for you, I'm always here for you. Stay safe and have a good one, everyone.